Next tonight, the growing emergency on Mount Everest.
It's been the deadliest climbing season for years and also the busiest climbing season ever. The way the authorities manage Everest has come under massive scrutiny.
And the number of people who try it just keeps growing, far above the levels of even 2 decades ago.
The world has seen the photograph that's gone viral of the queue. The government is blaming the weather for the number of deaths this season.
Every single year, every May, there's going to be news about Everest. There's going to be news about death.
Those deaths are prompting questions about whether there are too many climbers and how Nepal is handling it.
All right. Interview, take 1.
And obviously, if I get into something and I kind of get tongue-tied or mess it up, I can just say, let's just pause, and then I'll give 2 or 3 second silence for the editor to...
Yeah, sort of. I'm okay, like this.
Let's start. So, Riza, let's start by, you'll always look at me.
Yeah, fine.
Had a role to play in your journey as a mountaineer. What was it like growing up here?
Yeah.
And do you think that is one of the reasons?
I'm in my tent. This is all I got. आणि आज वातावरण पण खूप चांगलं आहे. ही अंजली मुंबईहून, हा तुकाराम हैदराबादवरून.
So,
Can you show us what do you have here?
so this is my, my memory wall, if you will. The ice axe is what actually went to the summit of Mount Everest. And this is my summit certificate with my photograph proving that I did get to the top. This is given to all the climbers along with these ropes around your neck or strings that have been blessed by a local lama for permission to climb the mountain, forgiveness for damaging the mountain, and safety for the climbers. So one of the things I've been doing when I'm not climbing a mountain is following the Everest season from my home in Colorado, in my home office. And what I do is I track around 200 sites a day, which I'll check in and read 2 or 3 times a day to see what news is there. Also, I have friends that climb the mountain. I have guides that will send me information. I'll receive calls in the middle of the night telling me that something disastrous has happened, or someone wants to know what the weather looks like. And when I first saw that picture that NIMS posted, I believe it was on Instagram, it was like a kick in the gut to me. I went, oh my gosh, this is not what mountaineering is all about. This is not what Mount Everest is all about. And I was very concerned for every single individual up there. Because when you're up there and you're in a line like that, you're not moving. And one of the primary reasons you're not moving is it's like being on a one-way street When I saw this emerging situation, I wrote on my blog that we have a potential disaster in development, that we have this many people, this short a time, the end of the season, the number of inexperienced climbers with unqualified guides. This was the perfect storm.
आर्टिस्ट बॅकग्राऊंड असल्यामुळे मला नेचरची ऑफकोर्स आवड होतीच. त्याच वेळेस म्हणजे एक अंजली दरवर्षी आम्ही 15 ते 20 दिवस हिमालयामध्ये कंपल्सरी होतं. त्याच्यामुळे सॅटर्डे संडे आम्हाला कधी फोन नाही करायचे आणि बिल्डिंगमध्ये सगळे वेडे म्हणायचे आम्हाला, काय कपल आहे, आराम करायचं सोडून कुठे फिरतात, असे भटकतात, असे होतात म्हणणार. आमच्या फील्डमध्ये, आपल्या फील्डमध्ये, ट्रेकिंग फील्डमध्ये सगळेजण इन्स्पिरेशन घ्यायचे आमच्याकडनं. अरे या वयात ते करतात. म्हणजे इवन आम्ही ट्रेनिंगच्या दरम्यान ते आमचे सर होते, ते बाकीच्या लोकांना ओरडायचे, लहान लहान मुलं होते, की अरे ते बघ ते काका काकू कसे पळतात, कसे पूर्ण करतात आणि तुम्हाला काय झालं, तुम्ही ते यंग आहेत. व्हॉट अ ब्युटिफुल लेक. सो लाईक लग्न झाल्यानंतर साधारण 1 वर्षांनीच आम्हाला मुलगा पण झाला. तरी पण आमचं ट्रेक हे चालूच होता. म्हणजे इवन 8-9 म्हणजे 8 महिन्याची प्रेग्नंट असताना आम्ही ट्रेक केलेला आहे लोणावळ्याला. तर ते सगळेजण आश्चर्यचकित होते, अरे ही कशी ट्रेक करू शकते. म्हटलं अरे आमचं आता वय आता 50शीत आहे आणि आता आम्ही काय आता या वयात क्लाइंब करणार आहे, छोटे मोठे ट्रेक ठीक आहेत आमच्यासाठी. मग तो बोलला की त्यावेळेस की अरे तो जापानचा एक गिर्यारोहक आहे, त्याने 80व्या वर्षी एव्हरेस्ट केलं आहे, तर तुम्ही तर एक 27-28 वर्ष आणि त्याच्यापेक्षा तरुण आहात, तर वाय नॉट, का करू शकत नाहीत. मग त्यावेळेस म्हटलं अरे हां, आपण तसे तर फिट आहोत, त्यांनी जर केले तर आपण करू शकू, आपण काय विचार करायला काही हरकत नाही असं म्हणून आम्ही जस्ट नवीन घेऊया आता. तर तुझ्याकडे 2 चॉईस आहेत आता यावर्षी, कोरोला घ्यायची, आता मर्सिडीज घ्यायची का एव्हरेस्ट करायचं. तर ती ना एक क्षणी थांबली नाही, ती म्हणे नाही आधी एव्हरेस्ट.
नमस्कार, मी अंजली कुलकर्णी आणि आमच्या बॅचमधील सर्वजण फिट अँड फाईन आहेत. फक्त एक जण जो आजारी होता, नितीन होता, तो काल परत गेलेला आहे आणि बाकी सगळेजण आता आज निवांत आराम करून उद्यापासून पुन्हा एकदा एक्सपिडिशनच्या तयारीला लागलेले आहेत.
जय माता. जय माता. कैसे हो? आज हम लोग सब लोग कैंप 2 पे आ गए हैं और अभी चाय का स्वाद ले रहे हैं. बहुत बढ़िया लग रहा है. आपको कैसा लग रहा है हमारी टीम के बारे में?
बहुत अच्छा लगा. सब ठीक है.
सब ठीक है. और टीम का स्पिरिट कैसा है हमारा? टीम का फिटनेस कैसा है? कैसे है नीचे से कैंप 1 से 2 तक कैसे आए? बताओ ना जरा थोड़े बारे में. शेयर करो सबके बारे में. अंजलि मैम के बारे में बताओ. अभी चाय पी रही है, देखो. शेरपा बनने के.
In India, it is very popular to go climb Everest. There's a status associated with it. Even though getting the money is very difficult, and many young people want to go climb, the government encourages it, and actually families encourage it. And if you summit, you're a hero. If you die, you're a martyr. So as a result, we have people coming from India that perhaps don't have quite the level of experience.
So people trying to attempt in the same day, lots of big team. And especially there were a lot of unindependent climber who are just not very responsible for their own thing. Lots of climber have always a big ego that they doesn't want to turn around and doesn't listen. I think, and most importantly, last year we can see a lot of unprofessional climber who just climbed to Everest with money. I think that's how lots of accident happening.
don't remember the exact age, but I was very young. It's just a faded memory. And somewhere on the TV or maybe somewhere just on the radio or something like that. And I just knew Everest is the highest mountain, that's all I knew. So we're going to my birthplace, where I was born. And this place is really close to my heart because I spent most of my childhood there. When I was a kid, this was a big goal to climb this tiny little hill. This was a challenge for me then. This was my childhood Everest. Back then I was a young and free soul, just like those kids. Because I was very obsessed with those, I won't say summits, but yeah, I was obsessed with the peaks of the mountains. Because I used to look at them like, okay, I don't know how big it is. But yeah, someday at some point in my life, I will climb them. I didn't know how to climb it, how much money it takes, how much effort, how deadly it is, how many people have lost their lives.
11 kilometers completed. Duration 4 hours, 42 minutes, 32 seconds.
And after like a few years, it started turning into a goal. Everything was for Everest. Running 22K every morning, doing the hardest training possible, and choosing a different career in the place I live. That was the most toughest thing I have done. And I found my purpose in Everest. At least I should go and climb it, no matter how young I am. I found out 2015, 16 somewhere on the internet. And I couldn't believe my eyes, honestly. I was like, no, this is not real. Like $40,000, $50,000, even like more. For a Kashmiri, it's a lot of money. I told my father, can you take a loan? And he's like, I'll try. He's like, no, we can't, but yeah, I'll try. Till now, I still don't have an idea how he managed this.
When the commercialization of Everest first began, adventure consultants charged $65,000. And I find it interesting that up until a couple of years ago, they still charged $65,000, so basically over 20 or 25 years. But that set a floor for the pricing. That's when the Nepali company saw the opportunity to come in and, again, to cut out the Western guide. And now they offered to climb Mount Everest at half the price. Instead of $65,000, maybe $35,000, maybe even $20,000. So that brought in a whole new demographic of climbers, people that they didn't have enough money to be able to climb Denali and Aconcagua. Well, this was good news and bad news. The good news was it brought in a whole new generation, and I am all for the youth getting into the mountaineering sport that I love. The bad news was they simply didn't have enough experience, and we saw all this come together in 2019.
Now these days, the problem is people paid money, whatever, it depends how their company charges, $50,000 to $60,000, $70,000. If you have a really good guide team, if you pay, you will get what you pay. But we have also we have very big unhealthy competition with the agency that they run by very cheap. And if you pay good, of course, definitely they will save you.
Yeah, what would be your advice for those companies who is like, doing some unhealthy competition?
त्यसमा चाहिँ म नबोल्नु होला. I don't want to talk about this. It's a very small world.
I'm finally in Nepal, Kathmandu. new city, new country, and quite close to my goal. Then finally, we decided to take a helicopter all the way to Lukla. And once I was in Lukla, I was like, wow, being on the world's most deadliest airport. Then once we landed in Lukla, then we started our trek all the way to base camp. So it's a lot of experience. You're meeting new people, new culture, new things. And summit wasn't in my head, honestly. There were the other factors coming in my head. Going to be the youngest Kashmiri on Everest. What if I don't make it to the summit? What if something happens?
I'm coming back from Camp 3 because the weather was so bad. It's even snowing right now. So I'll be attempting the next summit window. And probably might be 22nd of this month.
Now, what comes into play is the important acclimatization rotation, which is really, really important. When I made my first rotation and when I stepped into Khumbu Icefall for the first time, it was like scary. I have never seen something big and scary in my life. Because most of the people might not know when to cross the Khumbu Icefall, because it's all moving ice. My body was giving up. I was getting depressed because there are like big sacks of ice, big blocks of ice, as huge as the house is, like a two-story house. And you never know, anything can happen anytime. When I was there, I thought I'm going to be with a team. And they'll support me, they will help me, they will encourage me because I was the youngest on the team. But it didn't happen. I've been noticed as an Indian climber because I didn't know the reputation of Indian mountaineering outside the world. Because once you're with the outsiders, Asian climbers are somewhere other than another part of the world with some foreign climbers, the things really change. You're being recognized as an Indian who doesn't really know how to climb big mountains. Just being an Asian climber, they didn't like. They kind of decided with the Sherpa team that Reza is going with a different Sherpa, he'll go alone. He can't make it with us, baby. They're too fast.
Earlier I was supposed to be climbing with a team, but the day we arrived at the base camp, they said, "You're too slow, you cannot climb with us."
Because I spent most of the time on Everest all alone in my tent and climbing all alone. And I started to realize so many things, honestly, like the amount of garbage they have left there, the amount of trash people leave on the mountainside, plus so many other factors, because people just know about the Everest climbing, they don't know what happens up there actually. that was the moment I realized we should not expect anything from anyone.
It's not like the national teams, where if one person summited, the whole team declared victory. Now, it's a team of individuals, and every individual wants to summit for whatever their unique and personal reason is, right or wrong. They want to summit, and they're not going to give up their summit for somebody else most of the time. Many people consider it to be a badge of honor that they've climbed the highest mountain in the world. They do it for their pure ego. Other people do it as an accomplishment which they consider to be the pinnacle of mountaineering because it's the highest mountain in the world, not necessarily the hardest. I don't believe that mountain climbing is about summits. I don't believe mountain climbing is about records. I don't believe being the first person from your city, the first person of your nationality is all of that important. Obviously, there's pride associated with that, which everybody can appreciate. But doing it for the wrong reasons is inviting the wrong consequence.
बेसिक कॅम्पच्या कुंभ ग्लेशियरच्या क्रॅम्पॉन पॉईंटला आलेलो आहोत. हाईट गेन पण झालेलं आहे, त्यामुळे आम्ही सगळे चांगले अक्लिमेटाइज झालेलो आहोत. आणि आज वातावरण पण खूप चांगलं आहे. ही अंजली मुंबईहून, हा तुकाराम हैदराबादवरून बसलेला आहे.
और ये अपना टीम में लखपा शेरपा है, सबसे स्पीड वाला आदमी. हम इसको ये तुकाराम के बाजू में हनुमान बैठा ऐसा बोल सकते हैं. दो बैग कैरी करता है, सबसे फिटेस्ट. हाँ, और कैसे है आपको, कैसे लगता है हमारी टीम? हाँ, very strong.
Yes.
Good.
Now today is a rest day in the camp 2.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we go to camp 3 touch. And then come back to camp 2. And next day, early morning we start go down the Neskin. And then preparing for summit course.
मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना, भूल कोई हमसे ना हो जाए.
आणि आम्ही 2014मध्ये ट्रेनिंग, एक 28 दिवसाचं ते ट्रेनिंग असतं. 28 दिवसामध्ये ते पूर्णतः तुम्हाला, म्हणजे इट्स लाईक आर्मीचं ट्रेनिंग असतं तसं करून घेतात ते. मला ॲज अ एन्ड्युरन्स म्हणून असं काही टेन्शन नव्हतं, कारण आम्ही खूप प्रॅक्टिस केली होती. त्याच्यानंतर 18 तास बॅकपॅक घेऊन, एक साधारण 15 किलोचं बॅकपॅक घेऊन आम्ही इथं ट्रेक केले होते 18 तास, आणि कंटिन्युअस 3-3, 4-4 दिवस. त्यावेळेस आम्ही दोघेजण एकमेकाला म्हणालो, म्हणजे बोललो की बस की आता माहीत नाही आपण मागे पुढे असू शकू. तुला जर काही वाटलं असं की एक 5-10% जरी असं वाटलं की थोडं पुढे आपण थकलो आहेत आणि जाऊ शकणार नाहीत, तर लेट्स रिटर्न तिथूनच वापस, की आपण रिस्क नाही घ्यायची. एवढं आम्ही बोललो तिथे दोघांना, आणि दोघेजणं बोललो की तसं काहीच नाही आहे. आणि दोघांना असं वाटलं की, इवन तिला पण मी प्रॉमिस केलं की मला असं वाटलं की इथून फिरायला पाहिजे, तर आय विल टेक द डिसिजन, आय विल रिटर्न बॅक. याच्यामध्ये कसं की वातावरणाचं, म्हणजे तिथलं जे ॲटमॉस्फिअर चेंज होतं त्याचा एक धोका असू शकतो. पण इट्स ऑल डिपेंड्स, इट्स अ कॅल्क्युलेटेड रिस्क ना. तुम्हाला आता ज्यावेळेस विंडो ओपन मिळते त्यावेळेस जातात. नॉर्मली 12 ते 14च्या दरम्यान असे विंडोज असतात, पण यावेळेस नंतर कळलं की 18, म्हणजे 22, 23, 24 असे 3च दिवस विंडो आहेत. त्यामुळे काळजी वाटतच होती, कारण कसं नॉर्मली 7 to 8 डेज अशी विंडो ओपन असेल तर ती गर्दी विभागली जाते.
Last year, there were only 3 days in the prime season, the prime week, to go summit Everest. Normally, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, or even like in 2018, there were 11 consecutive days. So you can take 500-600 people, spread them out over 11 days, and just like my experience in 2011, not have a problem. But if you take 500, 600, 700 people and you try to put them into 3 days, I promise you, you're going to have a problem, and that's what we saw last year. Last year, on both sides of the mountain, there were 1,137 permits issued for both members and for support, the most ever. It was a record in 2019. Back in the 90s, you might have had 50 people summited in a year, maybe in 95. By 99 or 2000, maybe it grew to 150, 200 people a year. That included both members, in other words, clients who paid a permit, as well as support staff. And that ratio then was typically one client to maybe 3/4 of a support person. So if you had 100 people summit members, then maybe 75 Sherpas would support them. That equation has changed over the last 20 years. It's now common to have 300 clients, close to 400 clients, or members as they're also called. And then you've got cooks, base camp support staff. So it's not uncommon to have 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 people on the Nepal side at base camp, with that meaning 800 people that are going to be attempting the mountain, both members as well as support.
It's like a moonwalk. Yes, actually. She's like look like a Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong. Correct.
तर त्यावेळेस असं ठरलं की आपण 22 तारखेला समिट करायचा आणि त्या दृष्टीनं आम्ही एक पहाटे 18 तारखेला 2 वाजता बेस कॅम्पहून आम्ही निघालो सगळे. छान त्यावेळेस एकदम क्लिअर ॲटमॉस्फिअर होतं, चांदण्या दिसत होत्या छान तिकीटला आणि आमच्यासमोर अशी लाईन दिसत होती कुंभू फॉलवरून अशी जाणारी लाईटची, खूप सुंदर दिसत होते. तर आम्ही एकमेकाकडे बघून वाय नॉट म्हणलं, आपण इथपर्यंत येऊ शकतो, काही न होता आपल्याला सवय, आपण फिट आहोत, आपण करू शकू. पण त्यावेळेस हसण्यावरही नेलं की म्हणलं की एव्हरेस्ट कसं शक्य, आपल्याकडनं शक्य नाही. पण मनामध्ये तर तो कॉन्फिडन्स एक होता. तर त्यामुळे आम्ही जस्ट निघालो, मागे पुढेच असं निघालो आणि एक साधारण एक अर्धा तास थोडं असं चढ आहे आणि त्याच्यानंतर एकदम स्टिफ क्लाइंब चालू होतं. तर तिथूनच एक लाईन चालू झाली होती, म्हणजे रांग चालू झाली होती, पूर्ण अशी लाईट्स दिसत होते सगळे रांगेमध्ये आणि फारच हळूहळू ती रांग सरकत होती पुढे. त्यावेळेस शेर्पा बोलला की अरे जरा प्रॉब्लेम है, इतना लाइन आगे नहीं जा रहा है, ये ऐसे ही आगे रहेगा तो प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. पण कसं होतं की पण तिथे आम्हाला जवळपास 3:30 वाजले, एवढी लाईन होती तिथे की म्हणजे काही ठिकाणी तर लिटरली मी घड्याळ पाहिलं तर जवळजवळ 25 मिनिट्स एक ठिकाणीच थांबलेलो मी. फक्त स्वतःला वॉर्म ठेवण्यासाठी अप डाऊन एकाच जागी, एक पाय वर ठेवायचा, चढायचं, परत खाली उतरायचं, हात कंटिन्यूस हलवत राहायचे. कारण जेवढ्या वेळ थांबणार तेवढा ऑक्सिजन पण जास्त जातो ना तुमचा. आणि जस्ट चालायला चालू केलं मी. जसं चालायला थोडंसं वर गेलं तर पूर्ण लाईन होती, म्हणजे एंडपर्यंत मला जिथपर्यंत एंड दिसत होता तोपर्यंत लाईन होती आणि मला अजिबात पुढे सरकायला पण अशी जागा मिळत नव्हती. तो जर एका जागी थांबला तर तुमचा पण वेळ जातो. आणि अशी पूर्ण रांगच्या रांग तिथे म्हणतो ना, नेक टू नेक ट्रॅफिक म्हणतात तसं, तू सॅक टू सॅक, म्हणजे एक पाय जरी पुढे टाकला तर सॅक त्याची लागायची, इथपर्यंत अशी ट्रॅफिक जाम झालेली. कारण रोप एकच आहे, येणारे लोकांची रांग आहे, त्यांना खाली लवकर पोहोचायचं आहे. तर त्यामुळे मग आम्ही घाबरलो. मग तिथे
300 people climbing on a single rope on a same day. But there were already like so many people up on the mountain. And another surprising fact was that some people had left too early to make it to the summit because it has become sort of a race, summit race. And they're all pushing for the summit. They're like, how am I going to pass all of these people? Because there was an amount of pressure coming from the backside because you're on a rope. There is like so many people in front of you, on the back of you, They're like, come on, man, mate, push it, push it. I've seen people dying, actually. They were just trying to push themselves for the sake of summit. I realized, no, man, Everest is something, it's turning into something else. I'm like, what's going on in here? Is this a race? A death race?
You have a guide. You have these Sherpas that have summited 10 times. You're in a line with a bunch of other people, so how hard is it? Well, I can tell you it's damn hard. So now you've got this person going so slowly, but they're going to get to the top. Ambition, arrogance, whatever reason, they're going to get to the top. And the guide that they're with, it doesn't have the knowledge or the skills or the desire to turn that person around, because if you're a Sherpa and you summit, that's a check mark on your CV. And a lot of times you get a summit bonus financially for getting your client to the top. So we've got pride, we've got money, we've got ego, we've got everything involved of why you climb. But you've got this person at the top that's going so slowly and nobody can pass them. And the clock is ticking. You're taking a breath of oxygen and you're using up that precious oxygen. So now you're going along in this crazy dance. It's like the world's worst tango that you've got to put your rope around the other person while staying clipped in, so you're never unclipped. That person stands still. Then you clip in, now you've got to take the other one and put it around. And then you've got to move around that person. And if you have 300 people doing this, you end up with a line like what you saw.
Finally, you were able to see the sun. Then came a moment which has like really kind of broke me. There was something going wrong with my oxygen regulator. I was not able to breathe. I'm running out of oxygen. I may need to change my cylinder. So I tried to change the pressure. I tried to change the knob, but it was not coming in. You're already in the death zone, about 8,000 meters. Your body's already dying. So my Sherpa is like, look, you're young. He tried to like sort of convince me that not to go up because it's going to be deadly.
Believe me, yesterday I nearly died.
I was like, no, I'm not going back. And if it breaks, I'm going up because I've already spent so much time training, the money, and it's right there in front of my eyes. The summit is right in front of my eyes. I'm going up and climb it. But I came to a realization that, no, even if I make it to the summit, what if I can't make it back down? I had to make a decision very, like, so quick. And I still remember, like, my Sherpa saying to me, come on, make a decision. You can't go up, you'll kill yourself. So I made a decision to turn around. That was like one of the biggest decisions I have made in my life.
सनराईज असा झाला होता एव्हरेस्टच्या बॅकग्राऊंडला. तर खूप अवर्णनीय होतं ते सौंदर्य. तुमची स्पीड मागे पुढे होऊ शकते, त्यामुळे तुम्ही जरुरी नाही की तुम्ही बरोबरच असाल, पण ॲटलिस्ट आपण ट्राय करू समिटवर एकत्र येण्याचा. ते शेर्पा बघून घेतील. तर तितक्यात मला कॉर्नरवरून म्हणजे आय वॉज जस्ट वेटिंग की अंजू मागे होती असं मला ते क्रॉस करताना दिसलं होतं की त्या रात्री त्या ड्रेसवरून कळलं की ही थोडी मागे असेल. तर मी शेर्पाला बोललो की कदाचित आपण येईपर्यंत थांबूया, कदाचित येईल ती. 5 मिनिटात नाही आले तर आपण जाऊया. पण शी वॉज देअर. मी कॉर्नरवरून तिला येताना बघितलं. तर म्हटलं आपण तिच्याशी बोलूया. तो शेर्पा क्या बोला कि हम लोग इतना देर तक रुक नहीं सकते कि उसको भी रुकना पड़ेगा ना अभी उधर, तो ज़्यादा देर रुकने हम लोग आगे जाएंगे, वो वेट चाय कॉफ़ी लेके आ जाएगी पीछे से. मग ती जवळ आल्यानंतर बसली तिथे. मग तिला काय सांगितलं की आता आम्हाला तर निघायला लागेल की आपण आता समेटवर भेटू. तो आता इथं तुला काही प्रॉब्लेम आहे का? ती होते की नाही आम ओके म्हणजे असं बोलली ती. आम्ही तिने तिला बाय केलं. मतलब क्यों नहीं हम लोग फ़ोटो लेके निकलते, इधर तक आए, नीचे फ़ोटो नहीं देंगे तो अपने को सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिलेगा. हम लोग यहाँ तक तो आए हैं लेकिन अपने को फ़ोटो नहीं दिया तो सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिलेगा. तो लिटरली हेज बोला कि अपने को जान चाहिए या सर्टिफिकेट. तुम्हारा तो सबमिट हो गया है, मैं बता दूंगा उनका. बोलो मेरा फ़ोटो तो नहीं लो. बोलता मेरा फ़ोटो तो नीचे मेरा उंगली काटना पड़ेगा, अभी ऐसा हालत है. तर ज्यावेळेस म्हणजे तो ज्यावेळेस वापस चल बोलला त्यावेळेस मला एकदम डिप्रेस झाल्यासारखं वाटलं की अरे आपण इथे येऊन फोटो नाही काढले. नंतर वापस ज्यावेळेस गेलो जवळजवळ अर्धा ते मला वाटतं 1-1.25 तास खाली उतरायला परत लागला आम्हाला. आणि ज्यावेळेस साऊथ समेटच्या जवळ ज्यावेळेस आलो त्यावेळेस एक 15-20 मिनटाच्या अंतरावर एक माझाच ड्रेस घातलेली व्यक्ती खाली म्हणजे बसली होती आणि उठायचा प्रयत्न करत होती. त्याला शेर्पा उठवायचा प्रयत्न करत होता. तर मी एकदम घाबरलो. म्हणलं की हा ड्रेस तर अंजलीचा होता ना. तो आय वॉज जस्ट वरिंग की तो शेर्पा काय बोलला की उसका ऑक्सीजन खत्म हो गया, वो अभी हिल नहीं सकती. तर ती तिथून मला बोलवते शरद तू इकडे ये, शरद तू इकडे ये. मी म्हटलं तू उठायचा प्रयत्न कर. पण शेवटी ती बोलली की नाही तू इकडे ये. तुकाराम तर ऑलरेडी वर गेला होता आणि माझा शेर्पा पण पुढे गेला. नंतर मी आणि ती एक जवळजवळ 15 ते 20 मिनिटे ते एकटे होतो. आणि मी तिला धीर देत होतो की काही होणार नाही, आपले मुलं आपली वाट बघतायत, ईशा पण वाट बघते, आपल्याला जायला हवं, तू फक्त रोपपर्यंत. आणि शेवटी अशी वेळ आली की 10-15 मिनटात ती म्हणली की मला एक ॲटलीस्ट जवळ घेतो. मेरे पास भी कम हो रहा था ऑक्सीजन. थोड़ी देर में मेरा ही शेर्पा वापस आया, तो खाली आला आणि तो बोला कि सर आप यहाँ से चलो, हम उसको रेस्क्यू करेंगे. मेरा भी ऑक्सीजन ख़त्म हो रहा है, आपका भी ऑक्सीजन ख़त्म हो रहा है, और 5-10 मिनट इधर रोकेंगे हम लोग तो आगे नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे, हम लोग भी इधर ही मर जाएंगे. बर्फ पडायला सुरुवात झाली होती, काहीच दिसत नव्हतं. मध्ये 1-2 शेर्पा आणि ते अशी क्रॉस होताना दिसले. म्हटलं शी इज माय वाईफ, शी इज डाईंग, प्लीज हेल्प. कोणी नाही, नुसतं बघत होतं. ते तरी काय करणार, कारण सगळ्यांचाच ऑक्सिजन संपला होता. सगळेजण ट्रॅफिकमुळे अडकले होते आणि सगळ्यांना आपापला जीव वाचवायचा होता. कोणीच काय करू शकत नव्हतं त्यावेळेस. शेवटी शेर्पाने मला ओढला लिटरली. म्हटलं सर वो भी जिंदा बचेगी, आप भी जिंदा बचेगी, आप इधर रुकेंगे तो सब मर जाएंगे, आपको लौटना पड़ेगा.
कैसा है मैडम सर? ये तो है. हाँ.
आणि कसं असतं की आपली काही चुकी असते तर आपल्याला लागलं असतं. पण हे कसं झालं की दुसऱ्याच्या चुकीमुळं झालं. आपली काही आपण सगळी केअर घेतली. जस्ट आता ट्रॅफिक जाम झाला, इट वॉज अन ॲक्सिडेंट. असं कधी कल्पना केली नव्हती की असं होईल. आणि असं होईल ट्रॅफिक किंवा ही कल्पना असली असती तर मी कदाचित 1 दिवस लेट केला असता किंवा मग क्लाइंब केलं पण नसतं. पण कोणालाच कल्पना नव्हती तशी. आता ती गेली हे ॲक्सेप्ट केल्यानंतर मला फक्त ती चिंता लागली की तिची बॉडी तिथून वापस कशी आणायची.
When people look at a picture like from 2019, the instant reaction is that we should reduce the number of people climbing, and we should do it through reducing the number of permits issued. I think that the problem will remain the same, that it doesn't matter if you let's say instead of having unlimited number of permits, that they limited it to 500 people, and you still had 3 days of a weather window, you're going to have the same problem in 2024 that you did in 2019. A question often asked is, has commercialization really destroyed the sense of adventure or the soul of climbing? And I think the answer is yes and no. It certainly has become more attainable, and it's also become safer statistically. Nepal's a different story. Nepal's a poor, impoverished country where most of their income comes from tourism or comes from remittances by people working outside of Nepal. They need every single rupee that they can possibly get. So they have never considered limiting the number of people that can climb Mount Everest. That every country takes advantage of their national resources, be it oil, be it fishing waters off their coast. And if you're a landlocked country with no natural resources like oil or mineral like Nepal does, what they do have are beautiful, stunning Himalayan mountains, including their half of Mount Everest. So they have, I think, the right to commercialize the mountain to the extent that the United States commercializes Denali in Alaska, that Italy and France commercialize Mont Blanc, that Switzerland commercializes the Matterhorn. So I don't think it's particularly correct to criticize or pull out Nepal for their commercialization. That said, there's a responsibility to how you manage the mountain.
So hi everyone, I'm live again. This live session is about Everest experience. So I want you all to ask yourself a question. Why do you want to climb the biggest mountain in the world? Because I believe there are more mountains in the world. We can just look beyond Everest. There are so many other mountains lying there which are yet to be climbed. When I do stories about Everest, I get the best responses because everyone else is just obsessed. My message to everybody else is, let's look beyond the Everest. When I was coming back towards Camp 3, Camp 2, I wasn't able to look back at the mountain. I guess there's not enough kindness on the Everest or maybe any other mountain because people are so much obsessed with their summit, with their goal, and they forget everything. The humanity, the kindness, the love, the affection, everything is forgotten. The selfishness I saw there, it was really, really different. Okay, I'm saying goodbye, and I'm not coming back here. I never know when I'll be back here again.
Every summer after the season, and they get criticized for something happening on the mountain, then they form a committee, they study the mountain, whether it's trash or permits or summit certificates or crowding or fixed ropes, pick your topic, and then they will issue a new set of rules, and they never get enforced. I think the answer is to put in qualifications for the climber so that you have to have summited an 8,000-meter mountain before you attempt Everest, and the guides have to be certified by international accredited organizations instead of just being someone who has a practical experience. I think they also need to have a knowledge based upon education through mountaineering.
सॉरी सर ने अभी बताया ना मैडम ने भी बताया अभी अपन यहाँ पे बोर्ड लगाएंगे
यहाँ
डायरेक्शन बोर्ड यहाँ पे लगा देंगे अपन ताकि ये रोड को अंजलि कुलकर्णी रोड
यहाँ से या यहाँ के सामने जो सामने से आता है
सामने आ जाएगा
सामने आ जाएगा
कलर का बोर्ड रहेगा अंजलि कुलकर्णी रोड करके इसको
स्वर्गवासी पर्वतारोही अंजलि कुलकर्णी रोड
हाँ गवर्नमेंट के लोगों के साथ ही होगा गवर्नमेंट के लोगों के साथ ही होगा
मला आल्यानंतर खाली म्हणजे जवळजवळ 1 ते 1.5 महिना मी शॉकमध्येच होतो की असं का झालं. मी जस्ट विचार केला की हे टाळू शकलो असतो का आपण. आणि कधी जसं वाटलं की मला आधी मधून वाटायचं की माझ्यामुळे असं झालं, मी जर त्याला थांबवलं असतं. पण असं 1% पण अशी शक्यता नव्हती की असं काही होईल. हां, ॲज अ माउंटेनिअरिंग करताना ह्या रिस्क असतात हे माहीत होतं, कारण आमचे बऱ्याच जणांना खूप त्रास झाला होता म्हणजे त्यावेळेस. This is actually Anjali's photographs with me. This was top of the Concagua with Anjali. You can say she was with me on Concagua.
आतापर्यंत तू जी काय साथ दिलीस त्याबद्दल तुझे खूप खूप धन्यवाद. आय मिस यू अंजली.
मरण सगळ्यांनाच एक दिवस जायचं आहे, पण तुमच्या आवडीच्या ठिकाणी गेलं तर ते शेवटची इच्छा तुमची अतिशय चांगली असते. ती जरी गेली तरी ती निसर्गात आहे. ते सगळ्या दृष्टीनं म्हणजे प्रत्येक झाडामध्ये म्हणा, प्रत्येक डोंगरामध्ये, प्रत्येक दगडामध्ये, सगळ्या निसर्गामध्ये तिचं अस्तित्व जाणवतं मला. शी इज स्टील अलाइव्ह. पॅशन होता आमचा. आणि तिची जी इच्छा होती की आपण नेचरच्या आणि गेलं तर माउंटनमध्ये आपली डेथ झाली तर सगळ्यात बेस्ट. शी डाईड टॉप ऑफ द वर्ल्ड.
Next tonight, the growing emergency on Mount Everest.
It's been the deadliest climbing season for years and also the busiest climbing season ever. And the way the authorities manage Everest has come under massive scrutiny.
And the number of people who try it just keeps growing, far above the levels of even 2 decades ago.
The world has seen the photograph that's gone viral of the queue. The government is blaming the weather for the number of deaths this season.
Every single year, every May, there's going to be news about Everest. There's going to be news about death.
Those deaths are prompting questions about whether there are too many climbers and how Nepal is handling it.
You know, my father would be very disappointed with the way mountaineering has turned out today, especially on Everest and all these high mountains. These people are abusing the mountain. The sense of adventure is lost. So I don't think my father would be very pleased, you know. I'm for sure he will be very disappointed. Yeah, that's a photograph of my father on the summit in '53, and a photograph of me on the same spot 43 years later at that time. Because of the equipment and all the work that the Sherpas do on the mountain, people think it's basically like walking up stairs, you know, going for a hike. Oh, all the Sherpas will do the work, you know, I just have to pay money. I call them overnight climbers. These are overnight climbers who have a lot of money, you know, business executives or, you know, wealthy people that have like $60,000, $100,000, $120,000 to spend so that they can climb Everest and tick it on the bucket list. These are the people that endanger their lives, and then they put the lives of the Sherpas at risk, along with all their teammates. It's not climbing. Back then, what my father and Hillary did, and all those people back, you know, who climbed, they were the actual true pioneers, you know, they were explorers. They opened the route for us. They showed us the way. We are following in their footsteps.
And most people ask, why do you climb Everest? Personally, for me, you know, as a normal person, I mean, I want to do amazing things and, you know, and have fun as I live life. Let's go. To me, climbing Mount Everest is a personal quest in terms of how far can I push myself, that's one. And second, at the same time, I'm able to inspire others. Like, you know, for example, if I could do it, somebody, you know, somebody normal as me can do it. Anybody could do it. இதுதான் அந்த மலை மாங்க இங்கே தான் இது இவ்வளோ பேர் கூட்டமாகலாம் ஏறி நிற்கிறாங்கம்மா. ஏன்னா அந்த ஆக்சிஜன் இல்லாமல் ஏற முடியாது. ஏன்னா 8000 மீட்டர்னால் அது வந்து 24,000 அடிமா. இப்படி தான் இருக்கும் மேலே ஏறுறதுக்கு. இங்கே இருக்கும் இது சமிட்டு இப்படி தான் ஏறுறோம். கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக ஒன்று மூச்சு விட்டு minus 25, minus 30. இது ஒரு அச்சீவ்மெண்ட் நான் எப்படி இது பண்ணுறியா?
அதுக்கப்புறம் சாப்பாடு?
குட் கொஸ்டின்.
அதுக்கு அவ்வளோ பேருக்கும் அந்த கைடு ஆளுங்க கூட மாறவங்க டாக்டர் எல்லாரும் வருவாங்க.
எஸ் கரெக்ட். நம்ம டீம் வந்து ஒரு டாக்டர் இருக்காங்க. ஒரு டாக்டர்
Il y a des vents violents qui ont frappé et j'imagine même pas tous les gens qui sont restés encore là-haut, là, frappés par le blizzard. J'espère pour eux que ça amélioré après. Sinon, bah, ça fait une palanquée de mort.
When I saw that picture put up by NIMS, I mean, this particular guy who came up with that shot, And I was like, oh my God. Seriously, what's going on in this mountain? I mean, it looks like a metro station. I mean, everybody's queuing up to go up the summit. Oh, God. I was shocked. Personally, I was shocked. So how are they going to manage this?
For many years, we were talking about a catastrophe that we will see happening on the Nepal side. When you look at the 11 deadly accidents from the 2019 season, 2 of the 11 were people who failed. The other 9 were somehow related to an oxygen problem. It has been too crowded the summit day, too many people up there at the same time, at the same place. This is a deadly combination. Over the last years, we saw rising the numbers of climbers and permits every year. I never really believed it, that something is really happening like this. But then when I experienced this myself, I could see it with my own eyes. I could see that the people in base camp who are walking around and telling everyone that Everest is the first time they are climbing a mountain, the first time they have crampons on their boots, the first mountain in their life. This is absolutely crazy. There must be expedition operators that are accepting just anyone who is applying, who is paying. And I'm very sure that this is the way it works. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to find these kind of people there.
Sagara Mata Dev Aimengo Devta ho Chamulyangmo Sagara Mata ko nam Chamulyangmo ho Sharwakura Batru Chamulongmo Bona Aime Mancho Aimengo Devta. Kati yo भगवान को देवता को कुरा पनि होला यो अलिकति फोर लाग्यो फोर भयो देवता रिसायो अलिकति त पनि जस्तो लाग्छ मेरो विचारमा रिसाएपछि अब देवताको हातमै छ छन्न सबै हामीले देख्दैन तर देउताले फोर भएपछि त अलिकति बेसी मान्छे भयो नि अब कुहिरो भयो अनि अब दुःख छ कसरी जाने कसरी बुट लाउने कसरी लुगा लाउने तर थाहा छैन तर तेन्जिङ शेर्पाले सिकायो सबै बेस क्याम्प पुग्दाखेरि अब त के फरक हुँदैन अब अहिले त सजिलो भयो नि अब हामीले खुम्बु आइसपुल हेऱ्यो हामीले नपाएर एक हप्तामा मात्रै जानु बाटो पायो
घरको पालाले भने नि म हुँदा 10 वर्षको हुँदा यहाँ आलु भाइ के चाहिँ पाउँथ्यो र अब तेन्जिङ र हिलारी आएर त बल्ल यहाँ उ भयो भन्ने अहिले याक हामीले याक पालेर याक लिएर हामी बारीहरू बोकाउँछौँ होइन पछि त सबै मिसिन चिज आउँछ क्या हेलिकप्टर पनि अर्कै तरिकाको हेलिकप्टर आउँछ सामानहरू ठाउँ पुर्याउने ठाउँ बनाउन मान्छे बाटो यहाँदेखि बाटो लागेपछि त्यहाँदेखि बेसामा बाटोभरि खानाको लाइनमा बस्नुपर्ने टाइपको चाहिँ नि ठाउँहरू हुन्छ क्या यो एक दिन आवश्यक हुन्छ फेरि किनभने हाम्रो चाहिँ यहाँ त सगरमाथा अब यति राम्रो हिमाल त्यसको हामी त त्यसको काखमा छ नि होइन त्यसको काखमा चाहिँ यस्तो हुन्छ कि विदेशी कम्पनीहरूले 7 समिट नराम्रो भनेर प्रचार गर्यो तर त्यो प्रचारप्रति म एकदम आभारी छु मलाई खुसी छु किनभने उहाँहरूले मेरो कम्पनी चिनाउनु भयो हरेक सिजनमा चाहिँ नि हरेक सालमा मेरो कम्पनीलाई चाहिँ नि 10% बिजनेस इन्क्रिज गरिदिनु भयो around 2,000, more than 2,000 companies. They are also good knowledge to trekking and a small peak. But best knowledge us to expedition for 8,000 and 7,000. Climber want to go mountain, but they don't have enough money. So that was I should be do in some lowest price also can climb the Everest. ग्यासहरू त राख्यो नि चिसम्म राख्नुपर्छ ल त्यो ल फेरि त्यो भोलि पर्सि फेरि चाहिने बेलामा ठ्याक्कै हुनुपर्छ त्यो लोपुचेमा पनि हाल्नुपर्छ ग्यास
यो टाइट गरेपछि त आफ्नो ब्रेकअप पछाडि यो चाहिँ अक्सिजन अलिअलि कतिको अब त्यो कतिको यहाँ आउँछ अब कतिको सास फेर्नु सक्दैन अब फेरि गाह्रो भयो भने 1.1 मा लगाएपछि 2 अलि माथि जति हाईमा जति माथि 7,000 मिटर पुग्नु लाग्यो भनेमा 3 मेम्बरले 3 सम्मले खान्छ 4 सम्म नै खान्छ शेर्पाले चाहिँ यो 1 मा खान्छ सबै मेम्बरले त अब यो शेर्पाले फिट गरे नि त उनीहरूले आउँदैन भोलि यो छैन भने फेरि माथि त फेरि जान जान्छ हाम्रो लाइफ जान्छ भने यही मात्र
Now we have 18-member BBIP team in the Lobuche in Manasulu. And this is for training in the next year, 2021 in Everest. And they are from Bahrain, so they are Prince and the team. That's why they are the BBIP expedition.
Your Royal Highness, due to COVID-19 pandemic, Nepal too has badly suffered in the tourism sector. But, Your Royal Highness, your presence in Nepal and in Everest region has given us the hope that this industry will soon be revived. Your presence will pass a positive message to entire the world that Nepal and our Everest region is safe for the mountaineer and the trekkers to travel.
Nowadays, it has become. My friend also climbed, somebody else climbed, this guy has climbed, why can't I climb? Today, climbing Everest has become a product. It's a very good product, I don't blame, in a way, I don't blame people also for, because it's a good way to make money for all the local companies in Nepal, in Kathmandu, plus the amount of business that goes from, the food chain is a lot. So it's a big boom for the economy. But a lot of these people that come, they have no physical condition to do these things. They haven't been to altitudes before. One of the things that kills most of the people on the mountains is the altitude.
So this is your main lifeline, and then there will be a rope. The rope will be clipped into here. Huh? So this is a ATC, remember?
So I'll remove this here, right?
Yeah. So once I get to the top, then I will call you. Okay, wait for my commands. So I will let you know the belay off. When I say belay off, you remove.
Remove this here.
Yeah. Then what I do, I'm going to belay you from the top there.
All right. Okay. That's
okay?
I have not climbed any of 8,000 meters peak yet. But once you get to 8,000, I think, which we all call it the death zone, we have to start putting on the oxygen and then probably finish up the last stretch. I mean, I've read and I've seen a lot of stories about it. Your body dynamics, you can't predict what is going to happen. You probably won't be able to see, you won't be, you won't have a better control of your limbs and things like that. We can only hope for the best, because I've heard folks who go, when they went up, they went blind, or they went deaf where they can't hear, or their motor skills were not off, or their limbs are not working, or they just cannot progress. So various stuff. I mean, I've heard all of this stuff. In training, we can only simulate as much as we can, but every mountain is different. So we just could hope for the best and try.
Now, the question is, if this happens on a mountain right now with me, if I'm climbing on the mountain with 300 people and somebody collapses, and I've paid $100,000 for my chance to climb, I'm right there, I'm about 200 meters from the summit. Do I help this person who should not be there, or to sacrifice my climb? Or do I just step over this person, and then continue and claim my summit, get my photograph, and come back down? What do you do? It's very difficult to balance these things. And there have been many, many cases on mountains, especially on Everest, where people have been left for dead. And the other climbers, well, you shouldn't be here. I don't want to risk my life to save somebody who should not have been there in the mountain in the first place. When you have no experience, you're on the mountain, you put your risk at life 99%. Then you risk the lives of the Sherpa people, the Sherpa climbers who are there on the mountain. If anything happens to you, you'll need 10 people, 10 Sherpas to get you off the mountain. And then you risk the lives of your teammates.
अब यो याक चाहिँ स्प्रिङमा चाहिँ काम अब त्यो एक्सपेडिसनहरू भएन अब एकदम बलियो छ कि अहिले चाहिँ फेरि यिनीहरूले हान्न पनि सक्छ त्यो छेउछेउमा बस्नु हुँदैन है चुरा जस्तै छ फेरि अहिले हामीसँगै हिँड्ने चाहिँ 12वटा जति छ अनि 13वटा चाहिँ यहाँबाट सिधा लोपोचे बेस क्याम्प लाने सामान लाने चाहिँ सिधा जाने चाहिँ अर्कै छ माथि डाँडामा छ नि त्यो हामीले सामान प्याक गरेको त्यो चाहिँ सिधै आउँछ यो चाहिँ अब हामी सँगसँगै जाने याक चाहिँ हो तर अब अहिले त कोभिडले गर्दा बरिया पनि छैन हैन मान्छे पनि डराउँछ अनि याकलाई त केही हुँदैन नि
Of course, I'm really happy to back to work. Look, and the many people is joined here. All the people is very happy first to make and do this now. I think we take time like 1 year, 2 year more. Next year is recovery more 60%. After 2 years, maybe 80%. After 3 years, 100% we will be same like before. Huh?
अब एकदमै खुसी छ उनीहरू त अब यस्तो राम्रो यो चाहिँ एउटा अब स्वर्ग जस्तो ठाउँमा आउँदा मान्छेहरू सबै आवश्यक खुसी हुन्छ हैन
إلى الجبال إلى الجبال بسم الله الواحد الأحد نرفع راية البحرين فوق قلبا وقالبا إلى الأعلى Let's go
बिस्तारै साथीहरूलाई चाहिँ एक्लिमेटाइज गर्दै लानुपर्छ कोही कोही चाहिँ टाउको दुख्यो भन्ने समस्या नम्चामा आएको थियो तर रेस्ट गर्नु पर्यो त्यही नै हो तर त्यस्तो अब डराइहाल्नु पर्ने समस्या अहिलेसम्म कसैलाई आएको छैन
Okay, should we move now?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Wow, के भ्यू देख्छ फेरि यहाँबाट है
The whole reason to climb is just to get to the summit and take a photo. The selfie, they need the photo on the top. In today's climbing world, you take all my stuff. I'm not going to carry anything. I'm just going to go. You follow me. You one in front, one behind. And then that's how you go. They don't talk about, all right, how about the 30 Sherpas that were there to help you? My suggestion to the Nepalese government is to get endorsements for every climber from the local alpine clubs, you know, or from the country's alpine, the accredited, you know, alpine club or mountaineering club.
Screw on the safety cap again. So now you can try the mask. Oxygen is flowing. Tight on your nose. Exactly. And if you slip in this moment, in the wrong moment, you fall. Yeah. We do these kind of trainings, especially with people that we don't know, people who have no climbing record, who can prove that they have done this in this summit. We want to see how they handle this stuff, how they move in the terrain. And if we see that someone is absolutely not able to move in a safe way, it could be that we say no. we are saying no to about 50% of all people that are applying for Everest with us. The people that die, mostly like 80 or 90%, they were clients on budget operators on Everest. In many cases, probably not experienced enough for this climb and have no proper climbing training done before, no proper climbing experience.
Even if you voice your opinion to the Nepalese government, oh yeah, that's a good thing, we'll do it, but it never happens. Like an example, in 1996, total 14 climbers died, I think, that season. It was the biggest disaster. And the government at that time said, all right, we're going to put a cap. We're only going to allow like 10 expeditions. Then by the time March came of 1997, there were already like 40 expeditions, The government just said, just give it. So they started giving out permits. So they had more climbers back then. Last year, after quite a few people died, the government said, all right, we're going to start, making sure that if you want to climb Everest, you have to climb a 7,000-meter peak before you can attempt. That only we will issue permit. But I will give you in writing right now that that's not going to happen next year.
जुन सेताम्य हिउँहरू छन् त्यो गहनाका रूपमा छन् तिनीहरूलाई कायम राख्नका लागि आजको वातावरण छैन त्यसतर्फ हामीले र राज्यले सरकारले ध्यान दिनुपर्दछ सम्बन्धित निकायले ध्यान दिनुपर्दछ यस कोणबाट मैले कुरा उठाइरहेको छु हरेक क्षेत्रमा त्यही कुरालाई नियन्त्रण गर्नुपर्दछ कुनै पनि नाम र बहानामा यो क्षेत्रलाई प्रदूषित गर्नु हुँदैन नेपालको इज्जत प्रतिष्ठामाथि धावा बोल्ने अधिकार कसैलाई पनि छैन त्यसतर्फ भने म कुरा उठाउने छु माउन्टेन सम्बन्धी अहिले नियमन गर्न केही नीतिगत
बन्ने भन्ने हो बनेको छ त्यो पछि बन्ने भन्ने अब अहिले त्यो कन्सेप्ट मैले पुरै क्लियर मैले हेरेको छैन मैले अहिले यही भन्नै सक्ने अवस्था छैन दुईटै छन् त्यहाँ माउन्टेनमा पनि बढी क्राउड भयो त्यसलाई अब रेगुलेसन गर्नको नीति चाहियो त्यहाँको फोहोर व्यवस्थापन नीति चाहियो त्यसपछिबाट कहाँ जाने हो मान्छे फेरि फेक रूपमा टुप्पा चढ्ने भन्ने पनि छन् त्यो पनि गलत छ त्यसले गर्दा टुप्पा परेको गएका छन् त्यसको पनि ऐन कानुन र नीति चाहियो यी तिनटै कुरा हेरेर अब अगाडि बढाउनु बन्दै भन्दा पनि अब त्यो अध्ययन हुँदैछ अहिले
हैन त्यो त अब यो हिमालहरू चढ्नका लागि आज 8000 मिटरभन्दा बढ्ता हिमालहरू नेपालमा चाहिँ विश्वका 14वटा मध्ये 8भन्दा बढी नेपालमै छन् र विभिन्न देशबाट हैन आरोहीहरू आउन सक्छन् पर्यटकहरू वृद्धि हुन सक्छ र पर्यटन प्रबन्धनले नेपालको आर्थिक विकासमा महत्त्वपूर्ण योगदान गर्दै आएको छ र भावी दिनमा पनि यसले ऐतिहासिक योगदान दिन सक्दछ त्यस कारणले हिमाल हाम्रो गौरव हो नेपालको चाहिँ
In Nepal, you can almost get away with everything. It's not really corruption, it's just the government has no limitations. Next year, you will not have people who've climbed 6,000 or 7,000 meter peaks. They will issue permits to anybody they want. Well, see, when my father climbed back then, there was only one team on the mountain. Okay, that was it. The Nepalese government gave only one permit per year. Nowadays, the Nepalese government issues about 350, 400 permits. It's a big business. Everest itself brings $10,000 per head, per permit, roughly. So that's about 350, 400 climbers, $4 million right over. $3.5, $4 million comes into the Nepalese, tourism, the Nepalese government.
That's pretty much what I have to pack and move here. You got to know from head to toe what are you going to wear. In fact, this whole process helps me to get ready for the whole climb. Yeah, it's like, oops, you know what? I'm climbing already. I think I'm good to go. I think I can go tomorrow. Not forgetting, very important, our Malaysian flag, important to carry and say, hey, Malaysians up there too, yes. We Asians can make it up there too. I guess it's all a matter of planning within the teams, and even there are going to be 300 people in the mountain. I think we should have some mountaineering ethics and work around and climb along the lines here. And if you're tired, I think stop and let the person at the back pass you and things like that. See, this happens every year. This queue happens every year. Unfortunately, last year it was not well managed, right? Probably every team had picked the same date to summit, and probably they were worried about the weather. The same thing happens, you gotta get on a metro. If you decide to get a metro on a rush hour, it's gonna be busy. My game plan is at the same time watching the weather and coordinating with the rest of the other operators. So I guess there would be some form of planning will happen, because trust me, I mean, if everybody decides to go on the same day, I don't think the mountain will be able to cater for that, right? So we will have more deaths and more unforeseen incidences. That's definitely going to happen, yeah. I hope if the entire team are not sitting together, I hope the Nepali government steps in and manages that. That's my only hope at this stage, yeah. I just got to get fit. I got to be ready, all right? So whatever it takes, I mean, I got to get ready for it anyway. Yeah, that's what it is. I've trained very hard and I made all the preparation in a tropical situation. But getting into in an altitude position is very different, right? So how does it all behave and how do we feel? One thing I realized that it's about your mind at the end, yeah? If you say you could do it, you could do it, yeah? I would say I'm in my best form of fitness level in my life compared to when I was in 20s, yeah? I can do a triathlon and then I can still climb another 5,000 steps in a weekend. So, I think age is not a factor. Oldest climber who has summited Everest is 82, or I don't see age as a factor. You can be super prepared and you can be super fit, but you don't know what's going to hit you.
Today, you know, over the years, humans, we've softened up because of the technology we have, because of all the clothing we have. You know, we've relied so much on materialistic things, you know, all the fancy, you know, clothing and, you know, Gore-Tex, you know, whatever it is. And, you know, you take a flight over there, you don't have to walk 20 days, you just take a flight, you walk 5 days. You know, that has made us weak. We've become weak human beings, you know, we've become very soft. If you ask any mountaineer today, one of the best climbers in the world, you gather them up today, and then you tell them to go and climb Everest the same way my father and Hillary did back in '53. You go and tell them with the exact equipment, the same way they did, they will not be able to go.
Every season when we start to prepare our Everest expedition, I start to my beginning where I was totally against running commercial Everest expeditions. And I always ask myself, is this what I'm doing now, what I'm preparing now, bring more people there, feeding all the stereotypes, bringing rich people there? Is this good, what we are doing? Is this the right thing? Is this killing the spirit of Everest? Is this taking his heart or his soul? At the end, I always come to the same conclusion. For me, Everest has no soul. Everest has a meaning and emotions that are in the climbers. But Everest is rock and ice and snow. And it is a place where people can materialize their emotions and their feelings. It is the highest point on the planet, and I have seen almost all of our clients, including myself, on the summit of Mount Everest crying, full of emotions, crying because they are standing on the top of this planet. And I feel that I'm not doing bad on Everest. I'm doing good, a good thing. I help people, I assist people getting their dreams come true.
अब यो ब्याट्रीहरू भयो, अब यो प्लास्टिकहरू भयो, डोरीहरू भयो, कुहिँदैन नि। अब यो अब यस्तो प्लास्टिकहरू भयो हैन, यो चकलेटको खोलहरू भयो, अब यो चाउचाउको खोलहरू यो कुहिँदैन के। अब यो नकुहेपछि यहाँ चाहिँ नि वातावरणले नराम्रो असर पर्छ हो। अब हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ केही नदेखे जस्तो हुन्छ, तर पर्सेन्ट भित्रभित्र प्लास्टिकहरू लुकेर बसेको हुन्छ कि।
यही पानी खान्छ हैन। अब चाहिँ समितिले खच्चर पठाइदियो भन्नुपर्छ नि। 7-8 खच्चरको भारी टक्क पुग्छ।
The first expeditions didn't care at all about pollution. They left all their garbage, everything. That's why it got the reputation as the highest garbage place in the world. Most of the operators that are doing a good job are taking down not only their own garbage, all of it, but also the garbage from other expeditions. There are control checkpoints at the beginning of base camp when you come down from the mountain, and if you don't follow these regulations, you pay very high fines, financial fines.
Where humans go, we leave trash. You know, so humans should not be allowed to go anywhere. The Nepalese government has a rule to bring back your trash. They take in a deposit, garbage disposal deposit. But imagine you're paying $100,000 and $5,000, you'll say, I don't need the $5,000. I'll just leave my trash there. That's the attitude of people who are climbing.
जे भने नि तिमीले जे भन्छ त्यही मान्ने खालको कुरा पो हुनुपर्ने हुन्छ क्लाइम्बिङ सेक्टरमा के अब भोलि त क्लाइम्बिङ सेक्टर अब
The last year is like below the 500 people and the clients. Everest, you have space around 2,000 people can climb there. You have enough space. The people is not dead from crowd. People is dead their health issue. It's big different, but don't be issue for together. Yeah, this is the wrong things. If they have physical is not strong, and then, of course, in the mountain. We can fight nature. If they have bad feel, they have to say us and before the summit, so we can shape for them. But some they don't say us and don't say for shepherd guide, and they are to push in summit, and then after the people get a problem.
मलाई फोटो देखाई देखाई मम्मी फकाइसक्यो मम्मी
We cannot stop for your dreams. I mean, you know, the people want to go up, but we can push him down.